So I hope a few students can join in soon.
Okay, that's okay.
All right. So welcome to the Friday webinar series with Education USA. Today we'll be talking about legal programs in the, we'll be talking about how to find the best LLM. We have Samudra, who's the Chief Officer of South Asia Davis School of Law with us. She agreed to present with us so early in the morning for her. So before we start, I would like to inform you a bit. A state funded program, and we try and help students who want to go and study in the US. So in case if you want to apply to any, to have your questions and your queries answered, we try and give you accurate, unbiased, and accurate, unbiased, and thank you so much. Thank you, Samudra, for joining us today. You can start now.
Thank you so much. And yes, my name is Samudra Kugel, and I have been to India several times, and this is a great pleasure to talk to some Indian students about US law program in general. And there's so many law schools in the US and the world, so it's good to have a lot of information that you can research and try to find the best law school for you, because it can be different for your friend or your cousin, because it's very there are a lot of unique programs and different locations, so it's good for you to find what's the best fit. So hope this presentation will help you. And I'm with the UC Davis Law School, and you'll see this contact information that if you need to contact our law school and our website, and we also have a Facebook site you can keep up with if you like. Sorry, I think I went to the last slide accidentally. But anyway, so these are the three different types of law degrees offered by US law schools. The first one, JD, Juris of Doctor, and this is the 3-year law degree. And the first year, most of the law school is mandatory classes, and the second and third year elective. And the audience for these, the JD program, typically they are domestic American students. And then after 3 years, they have to pass the bar, and then that allows them to practice law in the US. So this is a little different than maybe what you're familiar in India. In the US, JD degree considered as a graduate degree. The first, you have to have an undergraduate degree from any discipline. It can be political science to a French or music. You have to have an undergraduate degree before you take the LSAT, and then whatever the university requirements from different law schools that you have to meet, and then you can apply for a JD program. So this is in India. I know that you have 3-year or 5-year LLBs. But the JD, when you're done with, so pretty much you have done 4 years of undergraduate degree, on top of that 3 years of law school. So it's total 7 years of education. And then we do have a master law program. So in this presentation, we're going to highlight and talk about mostly the LLM program. The reason that there's a huge international participation in the LLM program compared to JD programs. We have a lot of international students in different law schools following this LLM program. So anyway, it can be 1 to 2 years. And then the purpose, the goal of this program, that you gain knowledge of the US legal system, and then you can go back to your home country, or you can take the bar if you're qualified, and then you can possibly practice law in the US if you wish. And then the third degree is the SJD or PhD. And this is a duration, normally 3 to 5 years. And the audience, the domestic and foreign scholars both. And then this degree program students, they do extensive research, and then they are very academic focused. So if you're planning to become a law professor, something like that, this is this type of program for you. So those are the three types of law degrees offered in the US. So becoming a licensed a lawyer in the US to practice law, that I have given the website here that you can find comprehensive guide to the bar admission, and they update annually. So the each in the US we have 50 states, you can see in the map. And each 50 state has its own state constitution, government structure, legal codes, and their own judiciary. So it's good that you go to this website, wherever the state you're planning to go, find out more information and what's the to see what's the admission criteria. Again, the education, it's important that you're having a law degree, and then sit for the bar exam. The bar exam given 2 times a year. They normally, except California, the test lasts for 2 days. And then there are these other additional exams you can go online and read about to get the bar qualified and then pass and get the license in the US. Okay, so the big question: how should you choose your school? So there are many factors because there's a lot of options. So the next few slides, I'll be talking about some tips for you to consider. One of the number one things, faculty. And so it's always good for you to research who are the faculty teaching in these different law schools. I mean, for example, UC Davis Law School, if you go to our law school website, or if you get hold of one of our brochures, and actually all our brochures online, you can pull faculty bios, their research interest, their area of focus, which classes they teach. So you can find this specific information online in individual law websites. So it's always really good to read about and see what are the backgrounds and who are your professors. And also the next point, that ranking. And if you go to US News annual report, you can look at law ranking, because I know the US News have best schools, best graduate schools. I think what specifically you need to look specific law ranking, because some school may be really great in engineering or business. Maybe their law school may be ranked not that high. So again, the ranking is not everything, but it's really good for you to look at the ranking as a one factor. And all this, the fact, it's good for you to look at holistically, not just one thing, not just the faculty, not just when you think about, if you try to think, I want to get into a top 10 law school. It's not just that. I think it's good for you to look at, is this good average rank, good rank, faculty, alumni, the reputation, location. So these are all the things you have to look at as a whole, not just one thing. So also the alumni success. It's always good to read about alumni profiles. Most of the university website or their booklets, you can find alumni featured in their websites or booklets and talk about their story. And maybe very well you will find a profile that's pretty similar to you. You may see a student from your area, from India, or where you live, or where the law school you're going to, that talk about the experience. So it's a very good testimonial. Also, it's good if you go to LinkedIn or Facebook, your friends, through just talk to people and figure out if you know a friend who's in the US and doing an LLM program or finished up, and who have a successful story, talk to them about and get tips from them. Or it's always good to have those connections. And the reputation. It's always good that, have you heard of this school before? And what is the legacy of the school in the legal field? So those are that's another point. And also the support services, extremely important. Do you want a law school with a career office? And then student life, housing, and having an LLM coordinator that help you with pre-arrival and having an orientation. So those are all the things that you should research or in their website, or always, if you can't find information, you can contact the law school and ask these questions. And another, my personal tip, that if you hear from them very fast, answering your simple question, that's a very good sign. That means they pay attention to their emails and their students, prospective students, and um, get back to you right away. So that means that's a very, very, very reliable thing. So you would want to put um, put those law school in your short list of choices. I always tell my students it's always good to have um, a list, starting with a long list, and then when you're ready to apply for law schools, you narrow down which law schools you wanted to apply, like a short list. So let's talk about a little bit more about accessibility of faculty. In general, the U.S. Faculty are much more available to students. So in the U.S., it's not like some other countries that a lecturer or the professor, the faculty member would show up to the lecture and they go in front of the class, give the lecture, and then they leave. But in the US, it's more hands-on experience. The professors work with students very closely, and they have office hours. And if you have questions or if you didn't understand something, there's always opportunity for you to individually go and meet your professor. So when you get to your syllabi for the class, normally they have listed their office hours. And also they're very, my experience, my personal experience, that if you send them an email or call them and ask for a different time, if the other times don't work, they are willing to work with you. And also, it's good to see the faculty to student ratio or what it is. That's a good question for you to ask. That what's the class size? So again, not necessarily small classes are good, but it's always good to have the opportunity that you get to discuss things with your other students, and then have a FaceTime with your professors. So I think it's good to know how big are the classes. And also faculty involvement with student organization. And I mean, are the faculty involved with different law school organizations? So it's good to see. I mean, those kind of things even you can see in the social media, the Facebook, can you see that pictures, the faculty participating in different law school activities. And also, there are specialized LLM and there's general LLM. And what's your goal? So it's always good to see, do you want to do a general LLM or a specialized, and see whether the availability from each law school. You can, my advice, I think, have an Excel sheet with the law school name, and then you can have different columns that you kind of inventory these different things when you're creating your, when you try to identify your short list of law schools you want to apply. And if you have a specialized area, it's always good to look at that faculty profiles we talked about earlier, that and see that whether are there any professors respected from the specialized area part of the faculty. And also it's good to see that if you want to take the US bar, and do they have a bar preparation offered at the law school. And also if you're planning to transfer to JD program, also it's good to see if the law school provide that opportunity. Also it's good to see that the law school, the LLM program is 1 year or 2 year if there's a flexibility. And the part-time versus full-time. There are part-time LLM programs. I can talk to you a little later today. And then do you, if needed, is there an English preparation available before you start your LLM degree? Because some students may need a little bit more extra English help. So and also another point, there are some law schools, they have LLM and JDs integrated. So that's another thing to look at. So there are those integrations can be very beneficial to get diverse, different perspective in classroom discussions. And also at the same time, some of our international LM students may be a little intimidated by a class full of American JD students. So what are you individually comfortable with? You want to stick with all international students, or you want to branch out and meet and work with Americans, take classes with? And again, that your law school experience, that you make a lot of friends. This is one of the greatest experience, because you all are going through the similar experience, and you make a lot of friends for lifetime. And for me, my personal experience going through graduate school, I made friends from all over the world. So, and we still keep in touch. And also look at what are the available other extra activities and clubs at the law school or the university provide. Are there guest lectures, symposiums, conferences? Are there room to present your presentations and things like that? Are they regularly scheduled? And also the student life, very important. And your community life. And do you have a friend already in a law school? That may be a good place for you to apply if everything else set. Because you have that sense of somebody there when I get off the plane after a long plane ride. So you feel sense of comfort that way. And do you have a family member? I know some of our international students tend to go to a place that if they have a friend or a family friend or a relative, because some occasions they can stay with them, and that will reduce their cost of living. So that's another thing, if they agree to let you stay with them. But because I know that even at UC Davis. There are the Indian population in California, huge number. So I know some students that tell me that, yeah, I live at my the UC Davis, located in Davis, California, close to Sacramento. So I have had students before that tell me, I live with my uncle in California, in Sacramento. So again, California is a big state, so if you have uncle in Los Angeles, that may not work. But again, it may work if you can go for breaks. That's another thing. When you are a student living in the US, away from your family, thousands of miles away, it's really nice for holidays, like Christmas break, or a weekend. But I know the LLM programs are very rigorous, so I don't know how much time you will have. But again, that's something to think about. Do you have a family member? In US, it's a big country. So in the West Coast, which is like California, Oregon, Washington, that you can fly within a couple of hours. But if you want to go to East Coast, go to New York, Boston, cross country, it will take 5, 6, 7 hours sometimes. If there's a direct flight, that's nice. But so you can think about all those factors. And if you have a family, you're married, children, can they come with you and stay with you? And is there childcare available? Most US universities do, but it's really good to see how can you get access. I know that UC Davis have a great childcare options, so I can vouch for that. But it's really good for you to look at when you're looking for law school. And also living situation. Do you live on campus, off campus? Are there housing available for international students or graduate students? Because some universities, maybe they only have on-campus housing for undergraduate students, residence halls. But also, some graduate students prefer to live off campus because they can live with other LLM students, and they can share cooking and cleaning, things like that. So it's whatever the option you wanted to pursue, but it's good for you to know. And also which kind of facilities available. Do they have a gym? Do they have, if you like music or art and sports, I mean, do they have availability? I know that UC Davis have hundreds of different clubs and organizations, but it's good for you to look at what the law schools or the other universities in general offer. And also a big city versus small city. Which kind of city you prefer? So it's totally up to you, that your preference. So that's something to think about. In US, it's very typical to have really big cities like San Francisco, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, Seattle, big city feeling. But at the same time, there are small towns with great universities, have a university college atmosphere. Sometimes you may hear college town. It's all about that university in that town. So it's always good to, before you show up with your luggage and getting out of the plane, it's always good for you to learn about the city. And in not necessarily in the US map that when you look at, you can see San Francisco, Los Angeles kind of close by, but they're far away. So it's always good to do some Google Maps and see how far away things are. Okay, and the next big thing, one of the most important things students always talk about, the cost and funding. It's always good to think about what's your budget for tuition and what about housing and living cost. Just like the last slide we talked about, big city versus small city. The cost can be quite different too. And living in it can be a different state. The living cost can be totally different. Even within the state, even within the state of California, different parts of California that cost can be dramatically different. So it's always good, not just the tuition, always look for living cost too. And also for tuition, that you can look at, do I have to pay for the whole year at one time? Or there's an option you can pay installment. So I know that UC Davis Law LLM program that you can pay your tuition in 2 installments. But you can check what other the law schools in the US, what they do. And also, when you're thinking about cost and funding, do you get any government funding or university funding from your home university or the home or from your country? And also, any law schools you apply and offer any scholarship. So it's good for you to meet Education USA. They normally have an inventory of scholarships locally, or maybe the State Department, what they offer. I would recommend you to make an appointment and go and talk to your in-country Education USA advisors to get some tips about where to apply and how to figure out funding. Also, each law school, their website have a tuition and possibly available funding or scholarship link that you can see what are the availability, what's available. And are there pre-LLM programs available? And again, we talked about a little bit before about English programs. Some law schools, most of the law schools require TOEFL or IELTS score before you start, during the application process. Even you meet the academic requirement that you have to still meet the English requirement. So if you haven't met the TOEFL or IELTS requirement, and if you little bit below, a law school may tell you, okay, we'll admit you for fall term, but you may have to come in summer and do this English program. It's a conditional offer. So it's really depend on different law schools. So I think it's always good that if you don't have the minimum English requirement, to check if there are other options. Sometimes even your English is fluent, that you're capable, it is a test. So you may don't pass your or get your minimum requirement from TOEFL or IELTS just because you have test anxiety or you're just a bad test taker, that type of standardized testing. So I can understand that. So I think it's good for you to see if there's a plan B. If there's you're academically good, your grades are good, but if you need that little extra help. And also that after your law LLM degree, you can apply for a work authorization card called optional practical training, which normally universities have international officers, and they have immigration advisors that help you before you graduate. Normally take 2 to 3 months the process to get, because this US government provides this work card. So normally what typically our students do, that before they graduate, like 3 months before, they sit down with the immigration advisor and then fill out some paperwork and then send off, and then in the mail, if all the paperwork is correct, you get a card. It's like a little driver's license, and with that you're eligible to find an internship or a job related to your major, related to your studies in the US. So this is a great networking opportunity that you can impress. If you're an intern, you can impress your company, and you maybe possibly end up that 1 year that get a job offer. So those are the possibilities. And so all those things that I talked about, those are the things to think about when you're looking for a law school fit for you. And let's talk about the classroom. That in the US classrooms, I mean, people, it's not quiet. The people are not just listening. Everybody's participating. So there's a traditional lecture method and Socratic method. So in the US, it's a discussion and the case study discussions, and the students are prepared reading assignments, and there's a lot of classroom interactions, and JD students taking classes with LLM students. So some of the common challenges international students face in this environment, classroom, that some students can be shy because this is their first time that they're in this type of environment, because that can be a lot different than their home country classroom. Sometimes, I mean, I have seen some, when I visit universities in other countries, the classes are very quiet. The loud person, only the person who's talking is the professor. So sometimes out of respect, the students don't ask questions or don't raise their hand. But the US classrooms are very different. I mean, they are respectful, but the students raise their hand, as you can see in this picture. They ask questions and have a friendly arguments and disagreements. So it's all good things, but it's can be overwhelming for some international students. And also some students ask me, oh, can I work on campus? I know that the other graduate students, other degrees, so undergraduates, they're allowed to work on campus, but LLM programs highly discouraged to work on campus because it's very, very rigorous program. So we really want you to, at least at UC Davis LLM program, we really want you to focus on your studies. So that we really discourage students that we want that 10 months to really, really focus and get your LLM completed with fine colors. So maybe you're familiar with LSAC, and this is the website. You can research different law schools from different states. So you can pull a US map in here in this website, and you can, if you want to go find a school in California, you can click California and all the law schools will come up. So that this is, and through LSAC, you can apply. Some law schools, they do have their internal application process. At UC Davis, you can do LSAC, or you can simply, we have an application, paper application or online application. You can simply fill out the paper application and scan everything. So I can, at the end of the presentation, I can give my email address. So you can directly send me the application materials. So, and I can submit to the committee all the all the materials, the application, and your transcripts and your total score and recommendations. You can scan everything as a PDF if you like, or you can go to LSAC and apply to LSAC. So you have options, but each law school is different. So please do your research regarding that. And these are some of the research tools to figure out, narrow down that short list. LLMguide.com, individual law school websites, and then social media, contact admission officers. So those are all the things you can do to get more information. And Education USA, I know that in India, there's an office in Delhi and Bangalore. I think there are more offices. So you can contact your closest office, or you can make appointment and have a face-to-face meeting. And also this LLM focused education fairs. I know that LEAF, that's one of the big fairs in India. So every year they have a LEAF fair happening in Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore. So those are the three cities. It's month of October, normally the fair. So if you did not participate this year, it's good for you to participate on LEAF fair closest to you, the location, next October. So if you're still a second year, first year student, check them, go and because there are US law schools, and there's, I know one from China. There's many law schools participate in that education fair. So you can go there and have one-on-one conversation with the admission people at these law schools. So you will get kind of face-to-face time, and other than sending an email and asking questions, you'll get an individual attention that way. And also, I know that Education USA offers fairs. So it's good to research when and which schools participating. So, and also this type of webinar, it's always good for you to listen and participate. And also live chat. Some law schools offer live chat with the admission officers. So it's good to use those different tools to get as much as information. Okay, so I just want to talk to you a little bit about University of California, Davis. We are part of world-renowned University of California system. So there are in different University of California in the system. There are other universities like UC Berkeley, UCLA. So we are in the UC Davis part of that system, and that we are the largest out of all these UC campuses, and we are number 10th rank among public universities. So if you say that UC Davis is one of the top 10 universities, public universities, you're right. So we are very proud of that. And we have 35,000 students, including undergraduate and graduate students. And law school has about 500 students. And our location, just like I talked earlier, we are close to Sacramento, and that's the capital, California capital. There's advantages just for law students being in close to the capital, and also natural beauty. We are close to Lake Tahoe, Napa Valley, a lot of wineries. We are close to San Francisco and Yosemite National Park, amazing natural beauty, and very short flight to Los Angeles. So, so we are, I would say, the biggest city close to us, San Francisco and Sacramento. So those are the kind of populous cities around us. And city of Davis, California, the town has about 65,000 residents, and very safe and friendly city. And safety, that's something your parents might be really interested and maybe worry about. They really want to make sure that you're going to a safe place. So that's another big point for you to think about. The place, the location you're going. Just like I said, in the US, there's different, a lot of different places, or the big cities, small cities, even safety-wise, the places location can be different. So it's good for you to look at the safety statistics. You can find those online. But definitely Davis is a very safe city. And out of these 65,000 residents, many of them have connections to the campus. I said this 35,000 students, so you can see, and then the rest can be faculty and staff. And so there's majority of these 65,000 residents, one way or other, that have a connection to the university campus. So definitely we are a college campus. Davis is the college town. So and then we are very famous being highly educated, having a highly educated population, and a climate. A lot of people love California climate, and they say it's very similar to Mediterranean climate. And let's talk about the law school, so the ranking. And we are number 30th ranked law school according to US News and World Report. And then also these are two other rankings: the faculty quality number 23rd and faculty diversity number 5, the 5th ranked university, all the law schools. And so the UC Davis Law School LLM program, it is a general LLM program, but you can customize your LLM program, whatever the according to your interest. And in our website, we have the different area of interest. And what will happen that you'll sit down with an advisor, and then you'll customize your program after your arrival, or you can even start your conversation before you arrive with an advisor after you get accepted. And also that we do have a 2-year LLM option that you can again talk with an advisor and plan your 2 years. And the bar preparation, yes, we do have an excellent bar preparation at our law school. The students who want to take the bar. So these are some of the areas that you can concentrate: business law, criminal law, environment law, healthcare, human rights, intellectual property law, international law, and public interest law. So these are some of the offerings the UC Davis Law School offers to you. Internationally recognized faculty. You will see some big names in our faculty, so it's good for you to recognize those names and read their profiles. An innovative and engaged student body, so you get to take classes with JD students, and then still feel intimate student environment. And there's a beautiful building, beautiful classrooms in King Hall, an outstanding library, and then you get access when you get into law school at UC Davis. You get access to all the UC campus libraries, so you can loan a book from any UC campus library if you need to, and possibly transfer to UC Davis JD program, which you need to sit down and talk to an advisor. And then there are scholarship opportunities that international students can get considered for these scholarships. And also we have a career service that helps with resume. And in US, when you're applying for a job, your CV, which is the resume we call here in the US, and also most of the companies or the organizations or law firms, they require you to write a cover letter. So it's not a just general cover letter, it's very specific sometimes. So it's always good to have experts that help you with this, or give tips or review your cover letter. And also mock interviews, that means that you can go to the career center and get coached on how to do an interview and also do a practice interviews. Those are called mock interviews. And also the career centers do networking events that help you meet with other meet with companies and the law firms. And UC Davis do have like even a big career fair with all the different disciplines. And law student organizations. We do have more than 50, and we have a student-run journal, and even in the UC Davis campus, we have hundreds of different organizations. Even, I mean, if you want something not law related, I mean, we have a Harry Potter club, climbing club, I mean, you name it. The UC Davis have many different clubs. And we do have legal field trips, definitely going to Sacramento Superior Court, California State Capitol. And you can go to this link and see what are all the events happening. And also just wanted to touch base with you. We do have a part-time summer LLM program. So this is for if you're practicing law in India right now, that you have a great practice, you have a great client base, you don't really want to leave India. But during summer that you may able to come to US. So in this program that it's a unique structure, and the international commercial law is the concentration, and total 18-week course of study. So you can complete within 2 to 5 different summers, consecutive summers. That means you come to US multiple summers and then finish this part-time LLM degree. And this is designed for the practitioners, mainly who are in the field and not able to come for a full-time program and stay here longer. And then we do have a summer pre-LLM program we offer at UC Davis. And we have English for legal professionals, 2-week program, and then orientation in the USA law, which is a very good program that if you don't want to pursue a LLM degree, if you want to just come and learn the orientation in USA law, it is possible for you to do that. UC Davis Student Life, that you can get involved with different activities, just like I said before. And you can go to our website and look a lot of pictures. I mean, we have a beautiful campus, very large. We call it long land grant university. That means a government has given a lot of land for the university. We have a beautiful recreation facility, a pool. I mean, you name it, everything we have. So, and then this is the contact information, and my email is skugel@ucdavis.edu. So you can directly email me. You can directly send me applications, and I can set up Skype meetings with you. I can help you. When I'm in India, I'm happy to meet with you. I try to come to India 1 or 2 times a year. I normally travel to Delhi, Bangalore, and Mumbai. But if you tell me that you want me to come and talk to your law school, give a presentation, I'm happy to do that. So just keep in touch, and always don't feel afraid to ask questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Samudra, for the great session. students too, when they see this webinar, they will get a lot of useful information on the legal programs. And of course, as you mentioned at the end, your email ID so you and have their queries answered. Thank you so much for doing this for us. I'm sorry, you were saying something?
Oh, I didn't see any. Did any students able to connected?